Oh, hey peoples, it's your girl, Sexy Sapphire, and we're back with the Sexy Sapphire Chronicles, Volume 2. And where we left off, I was telling you about my whole days, and we were talking about some of the hoes that come in and out my life and stuff, and I told you the story about Caroline, and I've gotten a great response from you guys. The way that I put the video up is up somehow where you can't put comments on it. But I did provide my information for everyone to be able to tweet me, to email me, to contact me directly through my website. And so many of you have, between Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and my website. I am very happy to know that not only did the video entertain you, but that some of you are learning from it, and that some of you took some of what I said to heart, and that it hit home. I'm going to hope that the rest of these videos continue to do the same. And right now the video is only on Daily Motion and on my website, but eventually I'll get around to putting them on YouTube, but that's a whole different other story, so I'll get to it. It's been about a week since I recorded the last video. I put the video up on Saturday, and today's Thursday, so it's been a good couple of days, and the video's still going strong, so I'm good on that. I'm very happy. And excuse me one second, I didn't leave y'all, I just had to step away for a second. I'm very happy about that, and we're going to keep it going. So I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to go on with the rest of the story, and if I wanted to go straight into telling you about the parties, or if I wanted to skip to another thing. But I think it's relevant right now that from the first video, I go into telling you about what these parties did to my life, and how they changed me, and what happened to me as a result of pushing and chasing this quick, easy money. The parties really had an influential part of my life, and led to, some other stuff in my life happening. So, I guess it's important that we talk about it, because after I did those parties, my life changed again, for real. Like, I became a whole different person again. And I thought I knew who I was back then, So, oh God, I need my lip gloss. Y'all know I'm no good without my lip gloss, right? So I'm going to tell y'all about these parties, and some of the people and events that took place in my life when dealing with these parties. So, for those of you who didn't see the first video, where I talked about the fact that I used to be a hoe, and that I'm a reformed hoe, and that, so for those of you who didn't see the first video and might have missed out on the information or whatever, I'll give you a small recap. I'm a reformed hoe. I have no problem saying that I used to sell my ass, and I used to do it because I needed to. It wasn't entertaining and fun for me like some of these girls. It was a way of life because it was necessary. It got to a point where Christmas came up, I couldn't do for my son. I ended up doing some parties. So, I never went into detail about the parties for real, but I'm going to tell you about them. And I need you to understand, before I try to tell you about these parties and about that part of my life, that I have a mental illness. Some of my fans are aware because they follow my blog, and they've seen. A lot of my fans are aware because I don't hide this part of my life, and I've talked about it openly on my blog and in a couple of video blogs. But I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorder, depression, and an illness called dissociative identity disorder. And that doesn't really ring a bell with a lot of you, but y'all call it multiple personality disorder. I have multiple personalities, and that's not something that's easy to deal with or live with. But I'll go into more detail about that in another video because it's complicated. But I need you to understand that I can only tell you what I can remember about these parties and this part of my life. And at some point I might come back and fill you in somehow about more of it. But I wasn't personally around for a lot of the parties and the stuff that went down at the parties. It was a different part of me. So I can only tell you what I can remember about the parties. And so I'm going to do my best to fill you in and tell you about that part of my life and what was going on in my life at that time. But forgive me because I've lost some of it. What's important is that, like I said, at this time, I wasn't doing parties because it was my choice. I was already turning tricks, but it wasn't nothing serious. It wasn't like I was out walking the street. I was doing, chat line tricks, or, it was the guy you meet here and there and you let him know I don't fuck for free. So I was already making money selling my ass, but I wasn't making any significant money because I wasn't hoeing on a daily basis. But I needed the money. I was unemployed. I was living on my own. And I still had a son to take care of. And I needed the fucking money. So, like I said, I went to do these parties. And my first night there, the guy picked me up from my house. He drove me to his house. The first party I did was a house party. We did parties from Baltimore to D.C. We would do house parties at his house up the Park Heights area. And then we would go do hotels anywhere from Baltimore, Laurel, any part of the county that we went to, and then out to D.C. every now and then. My memory sucks, so I can't tell you which one. But we even did parties at the Army bases. And this was back way before 9/11 when everything was so strict and rigid. So, hoes, please don't go out thinking you're going to go throw parties at the Army base now, because shit done changed. You dig me? Don't look at shit that I did 10 years ago and get some ideas. So, anyway. We used to do these parties. And it was a regular set of group of guys who normally came to the parties. Like, we had our regulars. And then, they would all be a couple new guys who were straggling. But you basically had a group of regular dudes who came to the parties. And that was cool, because you felt like you was fucking with your friends, What I didn't realize, though, is that I was getting involved with a real pimp. Like, I didn't understand because I had been so independent. I had been out here doing my shit for so long that I had heard about pimps, but I had never met one. And this dude, he wasn't like a pimp, but he was making money off of selling girls, not necessarily with their agreement. At one point, like I said, my first night I went there, and he picked me up, and he took me to the house. And wasn't nobody there yet. And he like, the guys gonna come, and we gonna party, and, the girls will be here, and it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, okay. He like, do whatever you need to do. I think I had to roll a couple blunts, and I think I had some drink with me, because I was scared out of my mind, And he tells me that his brother and some girl named Honey are upstairs, and I go upstairs and introduce myself. So as I'm about to walk up the steps, he tells me, take your shirt off. No, he didn't. He told me Honey was upstairs. He didn't tell me that there was a man upstairs. He told me Honey was upstairs, and he said, take your shirt off and go up there and surprise her. And so I take my shirt off, and I walk upstairs, and there's Honey, but she's sitting with this guy. And so I'm a little embarrassed, but hey, I'm here to be naked, right? And so, I walk in and I introduce myself and I sit down on the end of the bed because Honey's in this bedroom and she's standing at the mirror doing her makeup and her hair and stuff. And this girl is like the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my fucking life, right? Now that's to me. By your standards of beauty, you might not have thought she was the most beautiful girl you've ever seen in your life. She was heavy set, thick girl, skin like a porcelain doll. She was so pale, and her nose, that's how beautiful she was. Her nose was just so tiny, and it had this little like turn on the end of it. And her eyes, they were the prettiest fucking eyes I've ever seen in my life. And they were green and gray with little flecks of brown in them. And she had the biggest titties, like F cups. They're F cups. And she had a tattoo on her lower back, what y'all call a tramp stamp or whatever. And she was gorgeous. I think she was blonde when I met her. She was gorgeous. And she was up there, and we talking, and we drinking, and we smoking. She getting ready. I changed into whatever the fuck I had bought with me for the night. And she kept saying, "You so sexy. You so pretty. If these guys don't hurry up, I'm going to get you myself. If they don't hurry up, it's going to be me and you, And she just kept flirting with me, and I'm, a little nervous and shy. Believe it or not, I think this had been my first. I'm pretty sure this had been my first time in a room, like alone with a stripper. I mean, I had been doing me for so long, but I never really had no female friends, and the friends that I did have, they damn sure weren't doing the shit that I was doing. So, I was a little intimidated my first night. And the guys was taking a while to start showing up. And so the next thing I know, me and her was going at it. And we in the middle of the bed. I think I was on top of her. And we was 69ing. And the next thing I know, there was just money raining down on me. And I didn't know, what the fuck was going on, where, But the guy at the door was telling people, "Oh, come on in, it's a girl and girl show upstairs, it's a girl and girl show upstairs." And niggas was just coming in and dropping money, just dropping money. I made good money before I even went downstairs to the party. I don't even remember how much money I made that night, but I made a couple $100 my first night, and me and her did good, just in the bed having fun, So then I went and did some lap dances or something. And I don't know, I can't remember if I fucked my first night or if I did a blowjob or whatever. I can't tell you. I just know that I went out for the rest of the night and I made some money. And I made enough money that the next week I went back. So I think the third week I was there, everybody excited, talking about Honey birthday party coming up. Honey birthday party coming up. She having a slumber party. I asked how old she was turning. They told me 18. Fuck my head up, okay? Because I had been having sex with this girl for the last 3 weeks. And she was 17. And I was 23, I think. And I was fucked up over it. And that led to me wanting to know, how long she had been dancing, how long she had been hoeing, what the fuck she had, as far as family, like, what the fuck is going on? Where do you live at? What's your deal? Because at first, she's just another trick at the party. You dig me? Like, you don't give a fuck about where these girls go home to. You figure they got their own shit, their own bills, their own everything. You don't think that one of them got high school in the morning. And so, needless to say, I took a real liking to this girl because I care about girls like me. She had my history, you know. Came from an abusive home, sexual abuse in the home. Had been out on the streets way too long, taking care of herself. The guy that was throwing the parties, she was living with him, and he was abusive because he would allow men to do sexual things to her in her sleep. Like, he would open the door and say, "Oh, well, honey in the bed, go ahead upstairs." I didn't know he was that type person. You think of everyone being in this situation by choice. You forget that some people don't have nowhere to go. And if she wanted to have a place to stay, it was her job to make money while she was there. Me and her got this close. This close. I took her as my wife. I loved her. I love her. It's 11 years later. I love her. I love her like no other. But this man that introduced me to her, he almost had her killed. He ruined her life in so many ways. And it took her 11 years to start to recover from working with this man and her life with him. So anyway, I wasn't really one for a bunch of fucking, but I like the subject and I'm good at it. So I became the head hunter of the group. And all the girls used to wonder why I didn't have to fuck like they did. But it was clear once they saw how the niggas lined up to get head from me. You know, I wasn't charging like no big money. Like, I wasn't Sexy Sapphire. I was just Miss Melody. We was all charging comparative prices and shit, you know. This bitch charging 50, I'm charging 45 because I want your money. I don't want you to give it to her. I'll take off $5 to get it all. You dig me? So, like, I was the queen of blowjobs. I couldn't dance. I wasn't trying to do a bunch of fucking. If we was fucking, I was charging you for real because I didn't fuck. I didn't mind sucking your dick though. I was good at it. It'd be quick. Let's get it over with. So, I remember one day, I had came in, I think I changed my clothes, and I went to go put my bag in a closet, and we were in a hotel at this point, and we were in a room where the girls changed their clothes and shit, and I went to put the bag in the closet, and by the time I turned around, there was a nigga sitting right there with money in his pocket, you know, and he like, you know, you trying to suck my dick, and da. So I'm like, fuck it, get this quick money. So I'm in the closet on my knees, sucking dick. I knock him off, I look up, it's another nigga behind him. Alright, back, get this money. I swear to you, there was a line. I must have sucked 6, 7 dicks before I could even get about the fucking closet. But I had made a couple $100 before I could get the fuck about the closet. You dig me? There was a night where this one dude, he was drunk as shit. He asked me to give him a blowjob. I charged him $50. He tipped me $200. Like, I'm sucking him and he just kept saying, "Oh my God, it feels so good, little mama, take another 50 out my pocket. Oh my God, little mama, take another 50 out my pocket." And it was just hilarious. These parties were weekly, once, sometimes twice a week. And I was a beast. I was a beast. I'm not going to sit here and stunt like I was ever innocent. Y'all, turned them parties out. Turned them parties out. And me and Honey together, oh, we made so much money. Like, we were fireballs. You know, we were fireballs. It was awesome. It's fucking awesome. And I didn't worry about shit. But again, I had money. And I lived like I didn't. Because that's what I believe. Like, I'm a minimalist. I don't believe in a lot of excess stuff. But I was making money to pay my bills and take care of my son. I was never making money to go buy a purse and hair and, you know, I don't get it. But anyway, so I'm doing these parties and I'm tricking from home every now and then. And this is 2003, 2004. This is 2004 now. This is 2004 now. And I'm really tired though. I don't want to do this shit. Like, I'm doing the parties, I'm doing little modeling gigs here and there. Like I said, I used to do websites back in the day. I posted some pictures on Instagram of my pictures from back in the day, and a couple on my website too. So I was really trying to get out, but the money was good. And, you know, when you getting it, you getting it. So, at one point, the girl Caroline comes into play. And if you don't know the story of Caroline, you have to go back to Volume 1, the whole Chronicles, and listen to the story of Caroline. And so, Caroline comes into play. And like I said in Volume 1, one day, one of my tricks was over. And he was a guy from one of the parties. And so he came over, and he just liked to suck pussy. He paid me to suck my pussy. He was leaving. And as he was leaving, Caroline was coming in. And and when he saw Caroline, he went out to the parking lot. He called me and asked me how much to suck her off. And so, you know, he ended up coming back in and saying Caroline. And so he went to the guy who was throwing the parties, I guess, and told the guy, oh, you should see this new girl that Melanie got. She bad as shit, da da da. So the guy thought that I was running hoes. Which is hilarious, because I'm all about saving them. So anyway, he thought I was running hoes. He got very upset with me. And he thought that I was trying to cut into his business and all this stuff. And he like, you doing this on the side and that. So anyway, the next party I went to, I think I was sick. And he was mad. He was mad because I didn't have the money to tip out, because I didn't make no money. I ended up getting sick at the party or whatever. And we had a big falling out because he was mad about that. And then talking about, and I'm getting money from running bitches on the side or some shit like that. I'm not a pimp. I never took no money from that damn girl. I find that shit hilarious. So anyway, so I stopped doing the parties. And when I stopped doing the parties, they took advantage of my wifey. You know, I didn't go for a night, and they robbed her. They took some money from her, and that shit just like really pissed me off, you know, because he didn't really have her back. And it's like, she been working with you longer than me. I don't give a fuck if you're mad at me. You know, you watch your girl's back. You know, it was just, there's no loyalty in this. Like, the girls, I learned so much about girls. Like, I thought, y'all gotta watch these girls. I mean, they was putting tissue up in their pussies while they was on that period so they could fuck. I mean, they was fucking y'all with tampons, and they was, oh, these girls was, they was, I don't even want to, I saw things about women that I had never saw before. Like, I stopped fucking with girls like that. Like, I can tell you in the last couple of years, I've been with like 3 women in what, 5, 6, 7 years? Like, bitches scared me, but that's a whole nother story. I seen too much, y'all. I seen these girls. The girls in the strip club and shit, stop fucking these hoes. You don't know what the fuck they doing to make sure that they good to fuck y'all. Like, I mean, the cotton balls, like, I done watched them shove cotton balls up in there, so no one ain't on that period. Ew. Anyway, ew. Anyway, so when I stopped doing these parties with him, I had been stuck in this making this quick, easy money stuff. And this is where shit got real complicated. Because, first off, let me say this. While I was doing these parties, I had a boyfriend. I had a boyfriend the whole time I was doing these parties. So every week that I was going off to fuck and suck and do all this wild shit or whatever, I had a man to come home to during the week. This party lifestyle almost got me killed twice. So, you know, I'm trying to tell my man that, you know, I'm just dancing. You know, I'm bringing home fucking all this money every week, right? And you know I can't dance to save my ass. So, he wasn't very fond of my lifestyle, but he couldn't make me no money. I was 22 or 20, I was 23, going on 24. And I think my boyfriend at the time was like 19, 18. I started dating him right after he turned 18. And he couldn't take care of me. He couldn't do shit, you know. So it's like, don't stand in the way of me making this money. And right after I did these parties, I needed to, you know, try to make money still because I had fell out with the guy and I didn't have the easy access to the making that every weekend like that at the parties. And so, don't nobody know this, that this is, you know, it's weird because I have to like tell y'all all my business for you to understand that this shit is not a game. And so, I was answering ads again, looking for some easy money. And I'm answering ads, and it's these chicks, and they throwing this party out in D.C. or whatever. And they kind of like the parties that we do. Only, they want to do some straight non-sexual shit. And I'm like, how the fuck y'all expect to make money on some non-sexual shit, you know? But they were very adamant about doing non-sexual stuff. And I was very stubborn. So I let these strangers come pick me up from D.C. And I go all the way to D.C. with these strangers. And I think I had like maybe $30 in my pocket. I might have had a cell phone back then. I don't even remember if I had a phone. I don't think I did. I don't think I had my phone. Or it was dead or something. Like, I don't remember. So, we out there at the house, and I'm out there for hours, and they all getting ready, and, you know, got the house looking all cute or whatever. And then the guys start rolling in. And sure enough, ain't nobody trying to spend no money, because these bitches ain't trying to do nothing, you know? And I'm like, man, I done wasted my day. And so this guy wanted to take me in the bathroom for like a shower show or some shit. And I think I told him, you know, like, for some extra money, we can make this shit real. You dig me? And he went back and told one of the bitches that I had offered him sex. And so the bitch got real pissed off. You know, she was upset. And she like, you know, we not prostitutes and we not doing this, we not doing that. And so I'm like, cool, whatever. I went on about my business. And I put my clothes on, decided to wait till the party over. I just, you know. So when the party's over, they act like they don't want to take me home. I'm all the way in D.C. They pissed the fuck off. I'm pissed the fuck off because y'all misrepresented what the fuck y'all was doing to me. We've been talking on the phone multiple times before y'all came out here and got me. Then we get out here, y'all want some, we giving massages and whatever. It was some dumb shit. Nobody made no money at this fucking party. Understand? So they decided finally they gotta drive me home because it's another bitch. They gotta go back to Baltimore. So they driving and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I've been trying to get home for hours and hours and Now they talking about I'm going to be the last one they take home. And I don't even want to be alone in a car with these motherfuckers. And it's a dude driving. And it's 2 chicks in the car. And the other chick who came from Baltimore, she don't know them either. I don't know them. I've been freaking out for hours because I feel uncomfortable. Because they got issues because I done pissed them off and I understand. But they've been talking, you know, and it's like, I'm uncomfortable. I just want to go home. And I think I asked to go home too many times. And finally the guy got pissed the fuck off and he pulled over the car. And he said, get out the car. And I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck I'm at. I'm not about to just get the fuck out the car. And he like, you can get the fuck out the car. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm at. You're not about to just drop me in the middle of nowhere. And he like, you can get out my car. And he took me. And he grabbed me. And he threw me. And I went up in the air before I hit the ground. And I thought I was dead. Like, I was so small. I always been so small. And they left. They left me there, like in the middle of the street or whatever. And the police found me. The police found me in the middle of the street. And, you know, I'm fucked up. And I'm trying to tell them, like, I just want to come home. I was assaulted. Like, I told them I was in the car, I was on a date. I said no. And he threw me out the car. And I just want to go home. And they didn't believe me for a while, so, you know, there's a lot of questions, whatever. But they took me home. And then I had to go crying to my boyfriend, all bloody and stuff, because I didn't hit the concrete, you know. And I said, no more. No more. I gotta get myself together. No more. You know. And I never did another party. I never even thought about doing another party. That was it for me. And so I continued fucking with my boyfriend. And I got a new job. I said, fuck it. I went and got me a real job. You know, I was back to being an administrative assistant, which is what I had done my whole life. And in August, must have been about August, maybe September. Yeah, in August of 2004, after I stopped doing the parties and had just got a new job, Honey was going through some real emotional shit and stuff, and I had moved her. First, was that when she was living with me? I had moved her out of where she was staying and moved her into my place. And she was living with me, and my boyfriend lived with his mother, but he stayed with me all the time. And his mother lived upstairs from me. We lived in an apartment, and I had the first floor, and she lived on the second floor, and he went between my apartment and his mother's apartment. And Honey was staying with us. And so, me and him, it wasn't working out, you know. It was so much going on, and between me having just did all them parties and coming home bloodied and bruised and shit like that. Like, we had a stressful relationship, so it wasn't working. We broke up, but we kept having sex. And so Honey's living with me, and he coming around still, you know, he live upstairs and he coming back and forth. We having sex. It's still like we together, but we not together. And so one night, I wanted to have sex, and he told me he was going to go play midnight basketball. And that was his normal thing. He liked to play basketball with his friends and his brother and whatever, and they played at night, and it's cool, whatever. But I wanted to fuck, and he didn't. He wanted to go play ball. And so when he came the next day, I told him that I didn't want to see him no more. If the only reason I've been still seeing you is to sleep with you, and I can't sleep with you, then I don't need to see you, you know. And he was very upset about it. And so I took it for granted that he was upset. I didn't see it as a real threat. I told Honey I was horny and I wanted to fuck. She said she would find me some dick. So she got her boyfriend's best friend to come over and see me that night. Well, during the day, my ex-boyfriend, the first thing he did, he had came and I think he had just been banging on my door. And I told him to go away. The next time he came back, he was hitting my door with a metal pipe. And I called this mother upstairs and I said, you know, you need to get your son because he's going to end up getting locked up again because he's out here banging on my door with a metal pipe because I don't want to see him no more. And I'm tired. Can you please get your son? And she like, you know, I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of dealing with this shit, you know. And she called him, you know. And I'm thinking he gone, this is over with. So that night, I'm in the house. I'm with Honey's boyfriend's best friend. It's our first night meeting, but we getting along great. We're gonna have sex. I'm horny. He came over because I was horny. Like, it ain't like he came over just to meet me. Like, you know, he knew what he was coming for. So, he in the middle of eating my pussy. And all of a sudden, my bedroom door comes flying open. My ex-boyfriend then broke in my bathroom window. Before he came in my room, he went in the living room and unplugged my phone so I wouldn't be able to call the police. Then he kicked in my bedroom door and told the grown man that was in the bed with me, if you want to leave here with your life, I suggest you leave now. And this asshole left me by myself in an apartment with the crazy man who just kicked the door in. And then my ex-boyfriend proceeded to beat the shit out of me and choke me and try to kill me. And I remember saying to him while he was choking me, you're going to kill me. You're choking me. You're going to kill me. And he said, I know. Honey saved my life that night. Because the man that was in the apartment with me ran out and left me. And he ran out my apartment butt naked, left all his clothes, left everything. And by the grace of God, Honey was still in the parking lot. She was sitting in the parking lot with her boyfriend. And they were in the car just talking. And they saw the guy come running out the apartment naked. So she knew something was wrong. And while this grown, scared-ass man left me, this young girl came in and saved my life. He was already in there while he was killing me, trying to kill me, telling me. Nobody even gonna know I was here. Nobody saw me coming here. Nobody even gonna know it's me. When she came in there, he saw her. He just looked at her, and he pushed past her, and he ran out. If she had been too scared to come in that apartment when she did, I might not be here to tell you this story. That night changed my life. I became a new me after that again. Whole different me. I couldn't function. I couldn't think. I couldn't work. I became an introvert. My weed men had to bring me blunts. I just paid them extra. I didn't go outside. Once I did start going outside, I was too paranoid. I would go back to work and I'd be outside. I'd be in my office and I would think people were outside looking and staring at me, and I thought that some guy was stalking me, and I still don't even know if he was. Like, I was so paranoid. My boss used to walk me to the bus stop. I was so paranoid. I was so scared of everything. I never felt safe. My son's birthday that year, mind you, this happened in August. My son's birthday that year was October the 11th. And I remember I needed to go get his birthday gift. And I put it off to the last minute because I hadn't wanted to go out and go shopping. I wouldn't. And I said, I'll just pick it up on the way up to the house. And so I made my way over to the mall. And I got to the mall. And the toy store was gone. I hadn't been to the mall in so long, I didn't know. And I broke down crying in the mall because now I didn't have my son gift. And so I had to go up to my parents' house. And I called a cab to my parents' house. And when I got there, I don't remember what set me off, but something triggered me. And I was crying pretty much from the minute I got there. And my stepmother said something to me, and I kept saying to her, why can't you understand? Like, why can't you understand? And then I had to leave. I was so, I couldn't even function being outside. Like, I don't even know what the hell happened to me. I was that bad. Like, I didn't go outside for a long time. Like, a long time. It took me a long time to get myself back to a place of comfort, and I don't even know if I'm there yet. You know, I've never been the same since. Never. I don't come out the house much anymore. I don't socialize as much. I don't know. I guess I almost lost my life twice in a couple of months, and it scared the fuck out of me. But, you know, coming out of it, you know, in that situation, that was just, you know, me, and what got me out of the parties and hoeing and you know, my wife. I have to do a whole different video to tell you about my wives. I got 2 of them, and they both. But these parties was a catalyst of my life changing. And I stayed at that job until I became Sexy Sapphire. Like, I was at that job until I introduced myself to y'all as Sapphire. And I've never looked back. You know, I can't go back to that old life. I learned lessons from thinking that it was an okay way of life and that I could keep doing that and that anything good was going to come out of it. Like, everything seemed good in the beginning, but when you chasing something that ain't good, y'all, nothing good going to come out of it. Like, I still don't understand why I'm alive today, because that's only 2 times that I should be dead. Out of all the crazy shit that I did and got myself into, because I wanted to live a different life. You know, I was nothing like the person that I am now. And it's so much that I probably could tell you about these parties and stuff and this point in my life, but I can't remember. It's so much that I can't remember that it's sickening. I have no clue. But that's because of my illness. But I can tell you that doing them parties had me set in the mindset of quick, easy, fast money. Gotta make it, gotta have it, fuck a real job. Till I chased that shit till it almost killed me. And until I drove the man that loved me crazy because I was such a fucking hoe. And when he wouldn't fuck me, I had to go do some whole shit that almost killed me. And it wasn't that, you know, me and him was still together, but damn, I did just break up with you in the same night I got a nigga in the house. Like, I asked for it. I knew he was crazy, and I did some fucking whole shit. But y'all, you know, y'all do this shit every day on some crazy shit. Y'all don't think it's gonna be me. Y'all don't think it's gonna be me. It can't be you. It was me. It could be you. It could be your door getting kicked in. It could be your window getting shot up. It could be you just like Caroline sitting in the house chilling with a dude and somebody come in and shoot him and you all fucked up. It could be you. Because doing whole shit lead to bad shit. Like, you cannot live a bad life and think that good shit gonna come from it. Like, the only good shit that come from it is a lesson. And if you learn your lesson, then you can make good shit come from that lesson. But good shit don't come from bad shit. Like, you cannot keep doing this shit and think that you won't prosper. Like, you might make all the money in the world and still find yourself in a fucked up ass position. Money don't change shit. It makes shit more complicated. Especially the more you get, because the more you get, the more you want to chase that shit. You want to have more and more of it. It's more important shit in life. I was so happy to go back and get a real job. And you know, I was just telling somebody the other day that Ariana Starr is like my role model right now as I'm gearing towards my retirement at the end of the year. Because she just got married. She just finished school. She had a real job making minimum wage, and you know what? She okay with it because it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it to be able to look yourself in the mirror and love yourself and not see somebody's comrade and not see somebody who is on their knees for a living. It's worth it to look in the mirror and see yourself and see the value in yourself and to find somebody who loves you for you and not just because you suck a mean dick or because you a get money bitch or because you get down with all the homies. Like, really? You know, when you're young, it's one thing. It's one thing to think that this shit is cute. We all go through this phase. But I'm looking at so many grown-ups and adult women and women raising little girls to be like this. And I think it's the TV. I think it's reality TV. I do. I think it's the TV and the internet that got y'all thinking this shit is cute. The Real Housewives and everything got y'all fucked up. Basketball Wives got y'all fucked up. Y'all think that this shit is cute. As a reformed hoe, let me tell you, this shit ain't cute. And it's dangerous. It's a fucked up lifestyle. It's a little much for anybody. It's a little much. But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. Anyway. I'm going to come back and tell y'all some more about me. Because right now we ain't got to talk about hoes again for a minute. The next video. I'm going to tell you where I come from. I'll tell you who Melanie is. For real. Like what I was born into. Alright. This was the Sexy Sapphire Chronicles. Volume 2. I used to be a party girl till it almost killed me. Twice. I'll let you girl.